Good morning, YouTube. Off-season 1, and today will be a full day of eating, full day in the life, and a rehab pull day. Rehab pull day because I am still nursing a bicep tear, so I will show you how I am working around it to still get productive working and finding ways on what I can do as opposed to not focusing on what I cannot do, which is always something you should all practice. Now, morning block number 1 is already wrapped up. Time now is 25 past 5. I have been up since 10 to 5, and the first thing I do is I go in my office, I put my red light therapy on, I put my Lumi light on, and I get stuck into at least 35-40 minutes of work. Now, time to go downstairs. Oof, lights are off. Time to go downstairs, give you some updates, get some of the stuff ready for the day, get some waist training on through vacuums and planks, and then do my morning walk outside in the darkness. Days are starting early, days are very productive, and today we do have a very big productive day ahead. So stay tuned and let's get on with the day, guys and girls. Okay, good morning, good morning. Well, downstairs, I've got my new top on. Here we go. Results don't care about your feelings. One of my favourite sayings that I've put on a t-shirt now. So they will be available to buy soon. For now, you're going to have to make do with just training plans and coaching that you can purchase from me. Anyway, I'm going to show you my morning concoction, which is a lemon. Boom. Thank you to Meg getting that ready for me. Fasted. Riz, thank you for some BPC. So all BPC will go down now. I've got magnesium, which I have 2 with every single meal. But now, the main bits. Osteopro, which I have doubled up on now to heal my injury. And Join In, which is amazing for joint health. And it does have a lot of collagen in it. So I am currently doubling up on the bits that actually help and promote the healing, which is very much needed. Very much needed alongside of I've got the vitamin C. I've got all the full stack here of JP as always. But my curcumin as well. There we go. I take 3 pre-bed and 1 in the morning. So that is the stack currently, guys, and I would definitely say it's extremely important to keep on top of your health subs year round. It really is. Now, time to make coffee for Meg, get my rice out of the rice cooker, which I've got a new rice cooker as well, and I'm going to gift my old rice cooker to Mark because he doesn't have one. So I'm going to send that over to him so he can prep his rice for the day. It's an expensive, fancy one as well, so I hope he appreciates it. Anyway, let's get on with the day, guys and girls. Oh, how do the mornings look for me? The mornings are very, very simple. We crack on with the day, as always. We get shit done, and we always get caffeinated first. So a caffeinated beverage for Smeg. She will have 2 double espressos, and then hydration. So I've got my hydration formula in here. I've got my Join In. I've got my magnesium, which I will add to this as well. I've got my D3. A full stack as always, guys. Okay, I aim to get at least 1.5 litres of water in first thing in the morning. That is my rice done for the day. I preset it on a setting to get it ready, so it's pretty much done for the morning for me, for when I wake up, so it's nice and fresh. Each morning, I always have fresh rice. If you eat rice that's days old, it develops a starch, especially if you put it in the fridge. So always cook your rice fresh And all you have to do, there's 385 grams here. All I do then is I weigh it out. I mean, there's an easier way to do it. You can actually weigh the pot out itself and then find out the right amount. But I like to actually just transfer it into a separate pot here and then wash the ball immediately. Remember guys, it's always easier to wash stuff when it's like warm. If you let stuff dry out, it's always harder to get stuff out of it, especially the rice. Like when it dries off, it's so hard to get out. So I'm going to weigh my rice out for the day now and then take out my meat, which I get ready night before, my veg, and I simply distribute the rice between my meals. At the moment, I have fish and rice post-workout. Yes, fish and rice cake. Fish and rice post-workout, which you'll get to see. But essentially, this is my entire rice portions for the day, which I split across my meal number one, which is still the same. Rice, venison, beef. Well, actually the venison / beef, as I did actually get my mum to mince some super lean steaks for me. And what I will probably do is today, I will probably cook the little burgers that my mum makes on the pan instead of the air fryer, because I've actually been making them like super medium rare. And I normally do them in the air fryer. I'll see, and I'll see which one this is. If this is a new one, this one will actually weigh 100 grams. Oh, this is the venison, that's 125 grams. I might actually do that in the air fryer, I'll see. And then I'll show you the end product. But anyway, guys and girls, this is my entire rice for the day distributed now. And the whole weight comes up to 1,090 grams, which is now going to be very easy for me to pretty much get the right measurements by simply dividing it. So what we do here now is 1,092, 1,091 divided by 38.5 equals 28.3. That is my 10 gram portion. So if I need 100 grams, all I simply do is times that by 10, and that's 283 grams. Divide it by 10, again, gives me 10 gram portion, times by 12.5, which is my post-workout portion. That's 354 grams. Super, super simple, guys. So I always recommend weighing the rice raw, just so you're accurate with it. This is my post-workout bowl. So now all I simply do is I get my rice added in there, and my white fish will go on top. And I will season it a little bit, add some dash on top, might even put it in the pan and sear it. We'll see. But this will be my post-workout dish. And guys, look, you don't have to weigh your stuff raw, but one, you don't waste food if you do it raw, but two, you are also being a lot more accurate. I don't care what people say, especially carbohydrates. I mean, you're always going to be far more accurate weighing it raw, even with the meats. I mean, I'll give you my steak, for example, right? My venison. If I put it in the air fryer for an extra 2 minutes, guess what? It will actually be a lot lighter. So if I was to weigh it cooked, literally putting it in an air fryer for a minute longer makes a big difference to how much protein I'm actually ingesting and eating. And guess what? It's still calories. Yes, it's protein, but it is still calories that you need to account for. I need to be mindful of. So, food for thought now, guys and girls. Right. Oh, right. Time for my one shot of espresso for the morning. And this is a gift from Fathers and Son Cafe in Milan that I attended. If you haven't watched the vlogs, you need to watch them. That I attended whilst I was working. So I would come in the morning, have my espresso, then I would work, go back, eat my go back and get a pre-workout coffee. And then that would set me for the day, and actually given me this so I could think of them. every morning whilst I had my morning coffee. Anyway, beautiful. Right, espresso down. This will be meal number 2, which is 200 grams of chicken, raw weight, 100 grams of rice. We've got 50 grams of spinach, 50 grams of mushroom, 100 grams of pineapple, 50 grams of peppers. Now, veg amount remains the same year round for me, so I do not change the veg amounts. This will have 150 prawn, 100 wild salmon, and this is 60 grams of spinach, 50 grams of mushrooms, and 50 grams of peppers. And I will tell a lie, because there's actually more peppers in here and less peppers in that meal, less peppers in meal 1. I do like to distribute a little bit more veg in this meal because this only has 60 grams of rice. So this will go in here. And the reason why I don't put it in the fridge is because if you put it in the fridge, your rice will develop a starch. Now, we've got banoffee cream of rice, 125 grams. I've got my salt for the day that will actually go into this, but I do like to weigh it out on my precision scales. And this is my rice and veg for meal number 1. So we've got 50 grams of mushrooms, 20 grams of peppers, 20 grams of spinach, and I will have my venison with this. So I just leave this out on the side because this meal will actually go down in like an hour and 15 minutes. Now, a banoffee cream of rice mixed with 5 grams of caramel whey iso pro in here. So first, I will actually weigh out my salt that I add into this, which is 2.2. And I do like to distribute this pretty evenly across the meals. My 3 whole eggs are ready for the morning, which will go in meal number 1. But I do like to get everything ready and set so that when I'm working, I can quite literally just come downstairs, get my bits ready. And as always, water amount is also tracked that we do add in here. So 125 cream of rice, I generally add about 390 grams of water, 380 grams of water-ish. I don't really like making cream of soup. I do prefer more like pudding consistency, and that's just my preference. And I do make a point of not volumizing my food, both in prep and the off-season. This is a huge mistake people make, is they try to chase satiety through volumizing food. It's just not going to happen. It just makes it worse, because what happens then is you stretch your stomach and then you actually create more hunger for yourself as opposed to creating less. So this was my pre-workout meal. At the moment, I'm only having cream of rice twice because pre-bed, I actually make sweet potato pancakes, which you will get to see today as well. And I'm not quite sure on the flavour of cream of rice I'll put in. I'll probably put in chocolate orange with my cream of rice pancakes. So you'll get to see that later. Oh, good morning. Second lap of my non-negotiable walk is almost done. First lap, I do not touch the phone, and I actually do it in silence. So no podcast, just me and my morning thoughts. And this is where I map out my day. This is where I genuinely just take some time to think. And it could be small little things like reflection time, thinking on what I can do better, and future plans, which is very important. And that is something I'm going to cover with you all today. So stay tuned. But first, I want to highlight the importance of morning activity. Whether you get it done fasted straight away or after your morning block of work, it doesn't really matter. Do what suits you the most. For me, I like to do some work first, then my morning activity, then get back to work and eat. And generally that is around an hour and a half up to 2 hours max from the time I wake up to my timing of my first meal. I do not like to fast for too long, not a fan. And if you're trying to grow especially, I don't think there's any merit to it. Now, those of you that watch previous vlogs, the apple tree is bare, so I have no apples to steal no more. If you haven't seen it, you have to rewatch some of the prep vlogs back. But I got some apples from a neighbour of mine, and from his apple tree, and they was actually pretty tremendous. Anyway, I'm back home now. 3 rounds of posing, which is non-negotiable. Posing twice per week fasted for my check-ins. And this is how I create habits and structure for my off-season. I think it's very important to create non-negotiables that you do every single day and you do weekly, which are small little things like your work, your meal timing, your structure to your days. I think it all works together in synergy and allows you to become the best version of yourself. And as always, progress has been made this year, but nowhere near where I need to be and where I want to be. So time to level up again. And in order to do that, I simply have to work harder and I simply have to be better. That's what I have to focus on. That's check-in wrapped up. Here we go. Breakfast, 3 whole eggs, 125 venison, 100 grams of rice and the veg. And then I do have some blueberries and pineapple to go with this. Right. Leave this for another minute and this will be ready to go. Beautiful. Go. Meal number 1. 3 whole eggs, 100 grams of rice, 125 venison, 125 blueberries, but I do mix a little bit of pineapple from my pre-workout meal, and then I put some blueberries in my pre-workout meal. But anyway, back on point. That's meal number 1. And then I've got all of my health subs. I take these in now, which is 1 magnesium, 1 Digest Farm Pro to ensure, and the rest of the health subs are here. So let's get it. And I eat this meal at 7:30 latest. Breakfast done, and I have just wrapped up my walk. I couldn't film it because I had to get on a quick call with a client to get their head in the game and game plan set for today's competing. As more clients are competing today, I had 6 yesterday and 2 today. So big weekend of competing. But now what we will have is breakfast for Meg, which is going to be a pancake. So I'm going to show you how that goes down. Okay, here we go. This is the pancake. And you can actually make this with various different recipes, and I'm going to show you my version as well. I normally actually put buckwheat in mine on rest days, but you will get to see that separately. And you will have already seen the pancake itself anyway. Now, Meg's meal number 1. We've got banana, egg whites, 2 whole eggs. So to be precise, it's actually 2 whole eggs, 150 egg white, 10 grams of whey iso pro, 200 grams of sweet potato, 100 grams of banana, and 100 grams of blueberries. So for 10 grams of whey iso pro, I'm actually going to add some chocolate pistachio whey iso pro, which is one of my favorites. And I'm actually going to leave it out because I am going to use it for my pancake recipe later on. So 10 grams is added. I have also added some sweetener into it because in order for it to be tasty, you do need a little bit of sweetener. Now, sweet potatoes, they have to be cooked to get the right consistency. So put your sweet potatoes in for at least 8 minutes in the microwave. And then what I do like to do is put it all in the blender. You get the sweet potatoes in. You've got the egg whites, you've got the eggs. So as you can see, the volume of that is quite high. If you want less carbs and more volume, you can also use pumpkin. We do have pumpkin for these occasions and for prep. And this is going to be her normal training day breakfast now. Now she's on to 5 meals per day just because it's her schedule now. Sweetener wise, stevia sweetener drops are always by far the best. So I do add some cinnamon to this as well for her. And that is pretty much the mixture set. Now, all I will do with this now is just simply blend it for a minute. And then it will be all ready to go and ready to go on the pan to make the pancakes. Now, get the pans ready and get the pans warmed up. And then I will show you the cooking process. Ingredients for the pancake are going to be buckwheat, cream of rice. We've got my sweet potato that's cooked, chocolate pistachio ISO Pro, sweetener, cinnamon, and I will use some egg whites as well. Only 50 grams in mine, so it's super, super easy. But first, get the pans ready and get Meg's breakfast on point. So that's her concoction, and I will show you the end product. You have to get the pans pretty heated and then put them on medium to low heat. The pancake's now cooking up, and now I am going to show you my preparation of last meal. That's the ingredients. I do have one more missing ingredient that needs to be added in, which is the old egg white. So first I've put the sweet potato in there. That is already cooked. Then I do have 50 grams of egg whites to be added. Job done. 20 grams of Whey ISO Pro. The total of ISO for this meal is 50 grams. So I do like to have 30 grams as a paste. And that gives me the ability to have a little bit of a topping on top of my pancakes, which is always a little bit more tasty, right? Now, then 50 grams of chocolate orange cream of rice is going to go on top, and then just 20 grams of buckwheat. Why buckwheat? It's a great carbohydrate source, and it does add a little bit more thickness as well to the pancake. And macros wise, it's pretty much the same as cream of rice as well. I have found out that I am gluten intolerant, as probably most bodybuilders do tend to probably get some sort of issues when it comes to gluten or lactose. So for me, I only stick to using Whey ISO Pro, which is amazing if you do have any sort of intolerance. Then all I simply do now is add a little bit of sweetener, so a little bit of dark chocolate, a little bit of toffee, and then cinnamon inside, and then some water will need to be added as well to it to get it all set. Now, when you do cook your pancakes, I would always put them on medium heat and then put the covers on like this. Generally, I don't flip them, and I don't cook that side through because it just dries it off. All I do, I fold a pancake and create like a foldable pancake style, thick Polish style pancake, I think. That's probably the only way to describe it. Also, one more missing ingredient that needs to go in there, which is 40 grams of apple, which I do not have, I don't think. Which is sad times. So what I may do, if we do not have apple, I may actually crank open the pumpkin and add a little bit of pumpkin to it. That will actually give us a little bit more consistency as well, but also a little bit more fibre, which will slow things down even more. So that's what may have to go down instead of the apple, but then I'll just need to work out the macros. But no rush on that. First, the breakfast is done, and I want to show you how I pretty much get ready my pancakes, because I have been having a lot of questions on what ingredients to use and how. So this gives you at least a good guide. You can also use oats if you get on well with oats. Meg's last meal actually does have oats inside it and cream of rice mix, so she also has pancakes before bed. So today I do have a waffle maker that I'm going to crank out and potentially try and use. So that will be the one to go with for today. Fish is all ready for post-workout. So the day is cranking, guys. I'll show you them products once it's done. So this is what I actually like to do instead of flipping them. This actually gives much better moisture and just keeps them nice and moist so they don't dry off. The best way to go. These are almost done. You need covers as well for them to cook through as well, just so they're actually cooked inside. But it's the right balance of cooking enough without drying them off. Right, this is Meg's breakfast ready. So we've got 2 whole eggs, 150 egg white, 200 sweet potato, 100 banana, and then 100 grams of blueberries topped on top. And that's kind of meal number one. Now, I've run out of apples, so I do have some pumpkin here that I'm going to use for my last meal. And it's ideal because I will actually use some of that pumpkin for Meg's last meal as well, which will thicken the actual pancakes up even more, / waffles. Hopefully we can get to use the waffle maker today. Oh, it's okay. I'll use the pumpkin today, and so will you. Right, so the pumpkin is actually going in now, and this will be my last meal today. So normally I do use apple, but today pumpkin will have to suffice, which is completely fine. And again, this will get blended for a minute at least with all the ingredients, and then same drill, I will put it on the pan and get it cooked. So it's a lot of cooking for me, but it's certainly worth it. Certainly worth it, especially in post-show phase. I mean, a lot of people struggle because they just eat terrible food, and that's understandable. If you make your food taste like shit, guess what? You are going to crave stuff. I honestly have had no cravings. Yes, I'm hungry, but to be honest, I'm very comfortable with my diet and my setup. So that should be all blended now, and I'll show you how to actually put it on the pan in a moment. Okay, so first, wipe the pan with the tissue if you have put the oil on. So I don't use 1-cal spray because it's shit. It actually ruins your pan and makes your food stick to the pan. Instead, I just simply put proper oil on the pan, give it a wipe. Now these are going to be extremely hot, so turn them down right down after you've warmed them right up, and then pour the mixture onto the pan. There we go. Pancake number 1, pancake number 2. Well, if I'm making my pancakes now, I guess I'm not having waffles, unless I get the waffle out now and yeah, unless I get the waffle maker out now and make the rest with the waffles. So we'll see. But these are going to be excellent. Meal number 2, guys and girls, 20 to 10. We've got Magnesium, Digest Pharma Pro, Ensure, and Omega Pharma Pro. Now, 200 grams of chicken, 100 grams of pineapple, 50 grams of spinach, 50 grams of mushrooms, and 30 grams of peppers. I do have some Flavor Gang sauces on there, and my allocated amount of salt, with plenty of pepper and some Fiesta Lime dash seasoning, which is salt-free. So time to eat this now, and then it will be time to get my pre-workout ready, intro workout, but also take a little walk and get the team call and team Q&A underway. Right, meal number 2 is down. Time to get my pre, intra, and post-workout ready. First on the menu, we've got 40 grams of performance fuel. This is essential for me for my intra-workout carbohydrates. And I do have creatine and glutamine with this. Essentially how I'm splitting my creatine up is 10 grams fasted in the morning, 5 grams in my coffee, pre-workout, and then I do take in another 5 grams intra-workout, and then another 10 grams, which goes in my pre-workout meal. Not pre-workout meal, pre-workout shake with my pumpage. So that's generally how I like to split up my creatine intake. And I do believe that creatine is massively undervalued when it comes to not just health benefits, but the performance benefits that you get from it are huge. And the cognitive function benefits at higher doses are pretty incredible. So if you're feeling tired, what I would certainly recommend is actually taking in some creatine. It really does make a massive difference. I'm actually going to leave that out because I do put 5 grams into my coffee with 1 magnesium inside it as well. caffeine intake does deplete your magnesium levels, so you need to be wary of that. This is why I do believe for magnesium, the baseline that everyone should be taking is 10 milligram per kilogram of body weight. So if you are an athlete who weighs 120 kilos, you should be taking at least 1,200 milligrams of magnesium. That's elemental magnesium. Just remember, guys, because elemental magnesium is the magnesium that you actually absorb. 23 grams of pumpage in my pre-workout, mixed with 350 mils of water, and 10 grams of creatine that's already gone in there. Now, this bad boy is going to get shaken up now. Just need to be careful with my arm, but doctor did say to keep it moving. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Now, MPS Max, 20 grams in here, and I do have magnesium already inside my MPS Max. And what I have been doing, instead of putting magnesium in my pre and intra, I've just been adding extra to my post-workout. So there's 500 milligrams of elemental magnesium in my post-workout and 2 caps of Dream Sleep. The reason why I prefer Dream Sleep over Unwind is just a better profile of ingredients for me personally, with the addition of 5-HTP, which is huge. Now, 5 grams of creatine inside my coffee as well. And that is a job well done. And before I put this away, as always, I've got to get a picture for the gram. So that will be the one. But that's my general, the Meg comes and cleans up. But that is my general pre-intra and post-workout nutrition setup at the moment. If you need anything from Trained by JP, guys, code KUBA10 is the one. Okay, that's the morning shift almost done. I do have the client call to do now, and 25 questions from clients to actually cover. So I normally have my coffee that's pre-workout at 10 to 11. The call is at 10:30. So I'm probably going to start to get caffeinated from pretty much 10:30, because I probably have about 45 minutes of a Q&A to do for my team. Well, our team actually, because that is actually from questions from the mentorship program and from mine, Meg's and Magda's clients. So some great questions, and a lot of them will need some in-depth answers. But first, if you don't know, you do know. The lane walk, time to just unwind for 5 minutes, get some movement in, get some blood flow in, and get my head in the game. Let's go. Chest, shoulders definitely wasn't as full. So was it a better look? It was still the best look he has ever brought in both shows, ever. Much bigger than he's ever been. Was it a better look? No, it was a different look for sure. But the main thing that I still believe held us back is just the presentation. You can only show what you have through proper presentation, and that is something we'll need to fix in any way that we can, with just being able to get him more mobile and potentially look at any other options that can improve the shoulder. Because a lot of people message me saying, like, you know, why is Mark not smiling, or why is Mark not really fired up? Like, you can see it in his face that he's not happy. It's not that he wasn't happy. He was happy. It's just that most people don't understand the pain that he's in just hitting regular shots. So it's very, very limiting as to what we can display. Now, the changes were super simple. Removing GH, dropping a little bit of water, running a couple of lower days, then feeding back up again. We did not use any diuretics, and there's another question on diuretics that I will cover in the Q&A here, but I think it's a great segue that we can go into with the question on the diuretics, because it's I can find it here.
Last page, I think.
Last page, right.
Or maybe, no.
Right. Okay. Where is the question on diuretics? Right, we'll get to it anyway. Oh, there we go. Question number 15. Do I think me or Mark would have come in crisper with using half a diazide or half a more diuretic looking back? no, it would not have taken the film of water away. No, just simply needed to be bigger and leaner. So no, it wouldn't have come in crispier, would have just come in flatter. And that's not a great look. I have used more diuretic before, I have used Diazide before. I haven't used any diuretics in the past pretty much 18 months to 2 years now with all of the clients, and you've seen the clients that do get in condition and the package that we bring. Now, going back to the question on Mark and even covering this question, like, would it bring a better look? No. Remember guys, it's bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is about bringing the best package for your physique at that given time, right? Could I have gotten Mark 1% leaner? Yes. Would he have placed where he had placed? No. Why? He would have been outsized by all of the guys on stage if we did that. And the prime example of that is Urs. When you look at Urs, right, does Urs have any detail in his back? Did anyone see any striations in his back or his arms? Right? Any of you guys? No. So when you compare Mark's condition versus Urs' condition, Mark's overall condition was better. Because the only area really where Mark wasn't as lean as Urs is, actually he was probably just as lean as him everywhere, because Urs' weakness is same as Mark's, which is the detail in the back. But you have to focus on bringing the best package for you. That is always the goal. Now, any questions on this, guys? Anything you want me to elaborate on? Right. Joy, do you, Kuba, and Meg confer or confine with each other about clients or keep work complete separately? Well, MK Coaching is not a separate entity. If we was to keep the coaching separate, then it would not be called MK Coaching. It would be called Team Kuba, Team Meg. So the whole point of creating our coaching brand was to work together. And this means that if Meg needs help, she gets my help. And we do review stuff together. If I need Meg's help with specific client cases, whether it's mental or anything that she can offer that's better, my clients do get that. So you get the best of both worlds, essentially. And that is something that I definitely believe works very, very well, because we all have both different strengths when it comes to coaching in general. As coaching goes above and beyond just the knowledge that you have, I think coaching plays a big role in the skill set and ability to also communicate in various different ways, but also understand someone's perspective. And sometimes if I cannot see someone's perspective as well, Meg probably will, and vice versa. I can help Meg with that as well. So I think that works incredibly well, improving our service to our clients. Nikki, also curious about PEDs. If you have a natural athlete, when, what type of PEDs, and why should it be or should not be introduced? Well, if you have a natural athlete that is looking to actually start PEDs, especially a female, I would only look at PEDs that are non-androgenic, that are not going to cause any virilization. If your first port of call as a female is Anavar or Primo or any androgen, guess what? You are going to get side effects, and you are going to get side effects that are non-reversible. So it does not make any sense your first exposure to any androgens, first exposure to PEDs being something that will cause side effects that are non-reversible. And that is a fact. If you are a female looking to explore the options of going assisted, the first port of call would be something like clenbuterol, which is a very mild anabolic. It's non-androgenic. It will not cause any virilization, but it will improve fat loss, and it does have potential to build some muscle. The second and the best option for any female is growth hormone by far. It will not cause any virilization. It will not cause any changes at all, apart from improving your skin, improving your recovery, potential for growth, improving your hair. So you get all the benefits without the shit side effects. The very last PED a female should be looking at exploring is your usuals, which are generally the first go-tos, and that is Anavar and Primo. What you should be exploring first is clenbuterol, injectable L-carnitine, growth hormone, insulin. All of these things will facilitate crazy amount of progress if your nutrition is dialed in and training is dialed in without any side effects that are going to be especially long term. So that is definitely something that you should be thinking about long term and should be thinking about in general when it comes to females and general health. Supplements and dosages. I watched the video on basic supplements, but found your latest video about magnesium intake. Body weight, really useful. Can you give more details on other supplements too, like for example vitamin D3 and K2, omega, as well as creatine, EAA, dosage, body weight also? To be honest, creatine, I think 30 grams for absolutely everyone is perfect. Elaborate on further, please let me know, and say hi for YouTube. I am vlogging today, so everyone can say hi. There we go, the team's happy. Just covered some amazing questions. That was a very, very intense 45 minutes. Anyway, pre-workout meal, 100 grams of pineapple, leftover blueberries from meal 1, 40 grams of whey isolate, 125 grams of cream of rice, and it was meant to be raisins, but I did not have any. So 75 grams of banana instead of 20 grams of raisins, 2 Ensure, 2 Omega Pharma Pro, 1 Magnesium, 1 Digest Pharma Pro. That is how the pre-workout meal is looking. Boom. Salt and cinnamon, of course, mandatory. This is going to be an epic meal, and check this out. Write it down, you know.
We're going to mix from Barcelona, Christopher God, and coming into the mix now is our brand new column, Desolate Lands.
Okay, rehab pull day. I'm currently running the same session on repeat, simply because this is the first session I actually did like 2 days after, and I was actually able to do it with no pain. So I'm not going to risk doing any new movements for now. I'm just going to repeat the same session, which I know is safe to do. So exercise number 1 was just a regular pull down, cuffed around my arm with my arm bent. That is something that John Meadows did 10 years ago. Now all the science-based crew has jumped on the bandwagon. Exercise number 2 is single arm row. Left side, all out intensity-ish. Right side, I am going to cuff around my elbow and go super steady and not fully extend, just to keep my bicep protected. Yep. Again, first week post show, so off season week 1. Setting baseline numbers and just setting execution. Perfect. 10. Perfect. This side now. Okay. Just pull the handle. My bad. Yep. Perfect. Yeah, right. So that is a successful set for sure. No pain, thankfully. So the setup is working. Doubled up on joining, OsteoPro, and obviously some extras in there as well. But it's certainly helping a lot. I feel like just need to make sure I stay in the groove now, stay positive, and again, do what I can, right? Work around it to the best of my ability, which is the key. So as you notice here, guys, there's no heavy stretch loading. All these movements are quite heavy in the shortened range, specifically because that is where I am going to be the safest. It's mostly the stretch that I've got to be careful with. So today, there won't be anything that's loaded heavy in the stretch at all. Okay, next exercise, we've got the T-bar, which is certainly a great movement and one of my favourites. So again, take the safe grip here, arm stays pretty much straight, and the only movement here is just scapular traction. But again, staying super safe, staying in the shortened range, not overreaching, not overstretching, and keep my arm pretty much straight. So let's go. I'll tell you what, Baba. Yep, bicep rehab now. Which simply means a couple of very, very light sets working only in the shortened range, which is the range that isn't compromising. Also, keeping full supination so that the brachialis is taken away from the movement. Okay. Now the goal here is just blood flow. So nothing to failure, just progressively taking my time. Okay. All I want here now is literally just blood flow, that's it. Right, T-bar wrapped up, 2 working sets. Now, 1 working set on the rear delt. My preference for rear delt training is always single arm work, so single arm, rear delt fly, moving from high to low plane of motion. Just 1 single set. Here we go. Just 1 working set, so you've got to believe that'll make it count. Hard weight accessories, essential. Both lifting straps and my cuffs. Right, here we go. Okay, a little breather now, and then do the other arm. Now, whilst I'm resting, guess what? Another set of rehab work. So we do not waste any sets or any time. And then the working sets for left arm will be as normal. Okay, now straight on to the rear delt. Now, I would never recommend doing this with any compound exercises, but small exercises like this, absolutely no issue. Beautiful. Here we go. Final exercise now. And this is one of the best bicep variations you can do. Contract hard at top, push the fist away, control, control. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, that's the session wrapped up. Nice and sunny outside. I just got some great news. On Wednesday, I'll be getting some PRP in my bicep. So that's certainly a good news for sure. And then some hyperbaric chamber as well to improve recovery. Now, post-workout meal, 250 grams of cod, 125 grams of rice, and 100 grams of blueberries. This is how it is looking. We've got some Flavor Gang sauce in there as well, some dash seasoning, a little bit of salt, and then we've got our blueberries to eat as my treat after. But again, also micronutrients, which do have crazy benefits, which is essential. So let's do a bit of a taste test. Oh. Right. Bon appetit, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, I am covered in sweat as I have just got out of a very hot bath. Meg has kindly made my meal number 5, which is 150 grams of prawns, 100 grams of wild salmon, 60 grams of rice, and we do have 60 grams of rice and 100 grams of veg with a little bit of kimchi. Now, I do have some actual pineapple in there as well at 50 grams. And I do have some kimchi with that meal as well, which is not just tasty, but amazing for gut health. So if you're not eating kimchi, I highly suggest you should. Now, what else do I have with this meal? Is, as you will always know, the usual, pardon me, but we've got my Digest Pharma Pro, magnesium, and omega. Well, that goes down with every single meal, as you do know. Right. So, time to chow down, get the meal down, and then 5-minute walk, and then unwind for the day. Here we go. And this is how the meal is presenting.
Accept this. Like, I knew the exact
Beautiful.
I ran, where my body weight starts slowing down.
Okay, blue light blockers on. It's only 20 past 6, pardon me. But this is almost bedtime for me, so this is now time for my evening walk up the lane. And I'm going to have to love you and leave you. I will see you at last meal, of course. But for now, phones are going away. I'm probably going to read a few pages in my book and then probably watch some YouTube or watch another episode of maybe Wednesday. Yeah, maybe Wednesday. But anyway, get my little walk on, finish my steps, enjoy a bit of nature and switch off both mentally and physically. It's definitely needed. It's been a very busy, long day. The team call was definitely an intense one. But I also had Hen compete last night, Gabka, and quite a few plans that I needed to get done today. Some of the guys and girls that are competing and have competed over the weekend, so it's been a busy day. Anyway, guys, see you on the pancake meal, the best meal of the day. For now, peace out. Okay, guys and girls, that is a wrap for today's video. the progress is definitely going to be there. At the moment, I am still rehabbing, but the reason why I want to cap off the video today is because I do have some good news. And that is that I will not actually need surgery. However, I do need to have PRP, and I do still need to rehab my bicep. But I have been thrown in the kitchen sink for the rehab, which means it's actually recovering real fast. So all is looking promising, and I will give you more updates in the next video. Last meal was 50 grams of whey isolate, 50 grams of egg whites, 70 grams of cream of rice, 150 sweet potato, 200 grams of berries, and out of that 200 grams of berries, I actually did 40 grams of apple and 150 grams of berries, just because I blended the apple, sweet potato, egg whites, and 20 grams of whey, 30 grams of whey paste on top, 25 grams of almond butter. Simple. You literally blend the ingredients, pour it in the pan, and make a pancake on low heat. That's it. But watch the videos, right? And you will get to see the tutorials. Guys, thank you so much for today. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And see you again soon. Off season has begun. Game time.